Alright guys, welcome back. So to wrap up the eyebrow, we just need to do some extra shapes that we wanted to do. There are things that joint-based facial expression cannot do very well, which is going to be the very specific shapes, like you want to do like a frown, right, kind of like expression, then it's still better to be done with blend shapes on the surface. And that should be also game engine ready because they do respect blend shape. In Unreal, it's called Morph Target. So we can set up blend shape in whatever way we want. So go ahead and grab the model and go to shape editor. Right, we can go create blend shape for the face, and we can call this guy Rhino. Blend shapes, actually facial expression blend shapes. Okay, so this guy is built based on the StarCraft character James Rayner. Okay, anyway, so I'm gonna create a target here, and we can just do one, right? You can do as much as you want, but I'm just gonna do one here. Okay. And you can also break this into left and right. Also, something I think that doesn't really happen that much when you do that on the left side. The right side will do that. I don't think it's possible physically for a human to actually do one side in a very differently than the other side. So to be simple, right, you can just do one over here. And I'm gonna go again use the sculpt into here, right? I use grab. I'm gonna go bring the eyebrows closer to the middle, right? Give it some more volume and make sure that you also drag other things along with it. Okay, and then for the middle parts, you kind of wanted to bump it out to give it some more volume. Okay, also something over here. All right, take a look. All right, so we're pushing things inwards. All right, now we can also be a little bit more specific by grabbing the vertices and then fine-tune those guys, right? I think it's still sometimes easier to use traditional modeling to define the shape just because you can be more specific, right? So here you can control very easily by dragging vertices around. You can do very detailed fine-tuning, basically, right? So maybe I can give these guys a little bit more bump. All right, cool. So now we have this specific blend shape. Now we can just set up really quickly with a new controller. So here we can grab that and then just hit up to select the group, Control D to duplicate, and I can go ahead and zero out the rotation and maybe make it a little bit smaller here, right? And then we can name this guy AC eyebrow middle, maybe. Okay. Naming can be better. Or, I guess that's understandable, right? So this guy, then I'm gonna use it to control that blend shape. And that's gonna be just a connection here. So I'm gonna add that in. And also the blend shape. So right click and select blend shape node and add this guy in. The connection will be translation Y to the front, right, blend shape. And that way we can use the controller to control that. Okay. And then you can keep adding new ones. The blend shape based rigging and joint based, they don't really conflict to each other, so you can incorporate both together. All right, and here I can go grab this guy. I don't want to see the pivot anymore, so let me toggle the local rotation axis. We can also clean up the outliner a little bit more. So those follicles, we can group them together and call this guy follicles AC follow GRP, and that can be parented to the ribbon rig. Okay, and we can grab all these right? That's the eyebrow rig. We can group them all together and call this eyebrow rig GRP, and that goes to the Renner facial rig GRP, right? All right, cool. That way we have all the controllers. And for those guys, I'm gonna change their color to blue. So let me Control G and call this AC eyebrow left, or AC left eyebrow, right? GRP. And the others, this actually is right, and these guys will be left, right? AC underscore left eyebrow GRP, right? And I can then grab the group and start giving them a display color drawing of right, and then I can give them a blue color and give the other guys a red color, and the middle one will be of course a yellow one, right? Now we can also do the same thing for the controllers, so I mean those guys over here, right? So let me open that, and then we can grab 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, call this guy AC secondary, see right secondary eyebrow GRP. Okay, and then group the others, and this is going to be the left secondary group. And we can also set up the override. This time we cannot actually do that because they're actual geometry, so we need to give them a new material and use material. We can do surface shader and give them a color. So this time it's going to be blue, right? And for the other guys, and we can, not Boolean this time, I want a surface shader, and they're gonna be red. Oops. Right, so that way we can have different colors. For the middle one, we can then give it a yellow color here. Now here is something very important. When you're rendering, you could render those things because they're geometry. That's why I never really recommend people to use surface as controllers, because they're easier to be forgotten and rendered, right? So make sure that you, before you render them or when you're rigging, just to be safe, right? Go grab the shape node of these guys and make sure that their render status will not have everything, so they don't cast shadow or do whatever. So that way they're not rendered at all. Okay, make sure that you do those things. You can write a code to do that for you automatically. I should actually do that in my coding to disable those when they are created. Otherwise, you just have to manually, right, clean things up. Anyway, I leave the other sides for you to do. One more thing you want to do is you probably wanted to use your use some control to enable or disable the secondary controls if you don't want that. Also, I don't really want to see those follicles, so that's gonna be, I believe, these guys. Yeah, so we can create a control to also control that secondary controls. That can be anything basically. That can also be on anything. But let's create like a global control to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a CV curve with one linear, right? Go to the origin. Use one linear to just create a plus sign here as like a handle, right? And I'm gonna give it drawing override, make sure that it's a different color. Maybe I can go for white or yellow here, right? And I can call this guy AC underscore facial expression controls. And group it. Just as usual, right? Give it a protection group. And I don't need this guy to be able to move or anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and disable all these by lock and head selected. All right, and that way I can just move the parent to move it anywhere I want it to be. 90 degree. Actually, 90 here. All right, and then that can be following any of my controls. We could make it follow the head controller, I guess. So we can grab the head controller and then that do a constraint, parent constraint to make it follow. Again, that can fall into the facial expression rig group. Okay, that's going to be like a global control, right? So that global control then will have a bunch of attributes. In this case, I just need to have a toggle for the visibility of those controllers. So I can say secondary controls, right, to toggle that, and that's going to be a boolean here. And hit that. Now we have the secondary controls is off, right? All we have to do is use that to control the visibility of these guys, which is going to be the ACs here, right? This guy. So we just need to go to node editor and make a connection real quick. So here, just need to grab the controller, right? Add it in. The controller will then use that secondary control to control visibility. Now we can use this to toggle to see secondary controllers or not. All right, so that's gonna be the cleanup of the final setup. Make sure that you end up with just a simple rigging group, right? And then you have some ways to control things visibility, give them color coding, all those things. And it's gonna be the basic or the essentials, right, for the joint-based facial expression with the eyebrow. All right, cool. That's gonna be it for the eyebrow. Moving on to the next, we're gonna actually go ahead and move on down to the other parts of the face, like the eyelids, the nose, the cheek, and the mouth. All right, see you next time.